American, particularly in Indian country today. So we have almost continuous recovery movements within Native communities throughout this time period that I'm reviewing. In the Euro-American culture, we see the first the first American autobiographies of recovery beginning in the 1830s. And by way of setting this in context, it's important to know that between about 1780 and 1830, per capita alcohol consumption jumped from about 2.5 gallons per person per year to more than 7 gallons per person per year, which is almost 4 times our current level of drinking in the United States. So in that context, we're going to have alcoholism rising rapidly, a recognition of the medical disorder that will later be christened alcoholism, and these early recovery movements. We begin to get the first recovery biographies in the 1830s. Then in 1840, 6 men who were part of a drinking club at the Chase Tavern in Baltimore, Maryland, get in a huge argument over the proposition that all temperance lectures are hypocrites. Can you see this happening? People about 3 sheets in the wind involved in this deep philosophical debate about the temperance lectures of the time, who are all, by the way, physicians and ministers for the most part in these years. And one of them, at this point, gets a great idea. And he says, we should start our own temperance society, but only for hard cases. Now, we don't have, alcoholism hasn't been coined in 1840. So hard cases represents what today we would call alcohol dependence or alcoholism. So they set a time to meet. They met the next morning, and they organized the Washingtonian Temperance Society. And that society grew from these 6 men to more than 400,000 members in 48 months. And within another 24 months, they'd imploded and almost disappeared, with the exception of a couple of northeastern cities. In that same time period, between 1935 and 1939, AA in the same time period will have less than 100 members compared to the 400,000 of the Washingtonians. We're going to see when the Washingtonians imploded, the recovering people went underground in what were then called fraternal temperance societies. And some of these societies were specifically organized by men in recovery for the most part. Women have not yet shown up on the scene yet. Organized by men in recovery, for men in recovery. So these are these little closed, sober fellowships that actually function quite well in terms of social support and keeping some of these individuals maintaining their sobriety. But they really became less and less relevant. And part of it was they became quite closed groups. And some of them developed very exclusive rules for members.